The hits just keep on coming for West Virginia basketball as the news came out yesterday, as we record this on Wednesday, November the 1st. The news came out yesterday that starting point guard Kerr Kriisa will now be suspended for 9 games in the 2023 basketball season for the Mountaineers. We're going to talk about why and then some updates to that story right here on this episode of Hoops from the Hills, right after this word from our sponsor.
This episode of Hoops from the Hills is brought to you by Dutch Miller Automotive, where friends and family pricing means you get the best deal right up front on any new or pre-loved vehicle in stock every time. With brands like Chevrolet, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Kia, Hyundai, Ford, GMC, Buick, and Subaru, the Dutch Miller Automotive family is always growing and ready to put you in the car or truck you've been searching for. Check out our inventory today across West Virginia at DutchMillerAuto.com or come in today to the home of friends and family pricing, only at a Dutch Miller Automotive store near you.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome in, college hoops fans and West Virginia fans. This is Couz.
And my name is Mountaineer Paul.
And we present to you another episode of
Hoops from the Hills, baby.
All right, Paul, you know the drill, man. Everybody's already known by now. Kerr Kriisa suspended. Before we get into the nuts and bolts, the meat and potatoes of the effects this is going to have on the team, let's go ahead and pull up the statement. Then we'll show the statement that was released today from the University of Arizona about the situation, and then we'll talk about it. How's that sound? All right, here is this announcement, or the statement rather, from West Virginia men's basketball regarding Kerr Kriisa. In late August 2023, West Virginia University learned of a potential eligibility concern for men's basketball transfer student athlete Kerr Kriisa, who admitted to receiving impermissible benefits while enrolled at the University of Arizona. West Virginia worked cooperatively with the NCAA student athlete reinstatement staff to reach an appropriate resolution. As a result of his actions, Kriisa will miss 9 2023-2024 regular season games as part of his eligibility reinstatement. Kriisa will be able to continue to practice and travel with the team during his suspension from competition. He accepts responsibility for his actions at Arizona and looks forward to joining his Mountaineer teammates on the floor. Now, that is West Virginia's statement. So to sum it up, while he was at Arizona, he basically received some impermissible benefits that he wasn't supposed to receive as a student athlete, and he's now being punished after he's left Arizona and is at West Virginia. Now, one of the questions that has been asked is, well, is Arizona going to get punished? Well, the statement released today by Arizona answers that question. And here's a tweet from Jason Shear, who covers Arizona for 24/7 Sports over at Wildcat Authority, and it says, upon learning of a potential NCAA issue with a former men's basketball student athlete after they left the University of Arizona, the athletics department worked collaboratively and transparently with the NCAA and West Virginia University in their review of the matter. The review confirmed there was no involvement from any Arizona athletics staff members or coaches. As part of their evaluation, the NCAA determined that the University of Arizona's compliance systems and education met or exceeded their standards and national best practices. The University of Arizona received no penalties or corrective actions as a result of the NCAA's evaluation. The athletics department will have no further comment on the matter and wishes the former student athlete the best moving forward. So, Arizona's not being punished because, according to this, the NCAA cleared them of any wrongdoing and basically said they had nothing to do with it and did everything they were supposed to do by the letter of the law. So, Paul, take it away, my man.
West Virginia didn't have nothing to do with it either. It's ridiculous to me.
They did not. They did not.
You know, once again, a blue blood gets off the side. It's how it looks to me, you know. It's frustrating, man.
It is.
You know, he was a player there at the time. So, you know, you can spin it how you want to. At the end of the day, if you're going to punish somebody, it should be both of us. But it's not going to happen that way. It's going to be us. It's just like it's always been. You know, that's fine. we'll be your whipping boy now, but we'll see who's whipping boy is who when we go to Morgantown and Tucson. We'll see what happens when that happens.
Yeah.
It's frustrating to me, man. You know, Kerr made a mistake. Don't want to bash Kerr. Been able to confirm what happened, and it's not the end of the world. You know, it's it's not like he's out robbing folks. It's not like he's out, doing drugs or anything like that. But he did make a mistake, so we'll leave it at that. And I wish Kerr the best. It's maybe had West Virginia been able to report this and get out ahead of it themselves. Maybe that's how the NCAA looks at it. Maybe whoever reports it is the person that doesn't get in trouble, because from everything I've been told, Arizona reported this.
Yeah. Well, I'm with you, man. At first, it felt like really a kick to the gut for West Virginia. And I saw people on Twitter, saying, well, West Virginia nor Arizona got punished. Yes, West Virginia did get punished. They're losing their starting point guard for 9 games, man. After already losing their head coach, and after losing their coach and what feels like 100 players, whether it be to the portal, whether it be to not being eligible because of waivers getting denied, whatever the case may be, it is a punishment. It may not be an official punishment for West Virginia, but it's a punishment to them. They're getting hurt by this big time. Now, I know, and it may not be Arizona's fault, but how many times through NCAA history have schools been punished for stuff that happens on their watch? But now all of a sudden, that's not. The NCAA is just so inconsistent with how they dish out punishments, man. It's strange to me, but nonetheless, that's how this, unfortunately, how the cookie crumbled here in this situation. Now, as far as on the court, before we get on the court side of this, do you want to say anything else about, the off the court side?
Well, back to your thing about the NCAA, it's one of those things where I wish we could break away from them altogether, but it's like the fear of the unknown and not knowing what that would bring and what that would mean for everybody kind of keeps us all attached in some sense,
Yeah.
So that's it.
Good point. Good point. And I do want to add this, there's been Arizona fans there's been some Arizona some bashing of Kerr from the Arizona side of this thing a little bit. But we got to keep in mind, guys, and maybe they're not wrong in everything they say, but we got to keep in mind they're looking at this from a little bit of a biased lens, because he left their school, their team, to transfer somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? So just like we sometimes get upset when one of our players leave to go somewhere else, they may feel the same way, and it probably skews their thinking a little bit. Not saying that's the case with some of the media people, because they're supposed to be unbiased, but we know, if you're a graduate of a school or have covered a school for a long time, you're going to be biased to a degree, I would imagine, right? It's human nature.
Oh, yeah.
But nonetheless, we got to remember that some of the negativity being thrown towards Kerr is potentially coming from a little bit of a biased lens. I want to throw that out there.
That's a great point. And, people are starting to speculate that he was running from something now, right? That's how it looks.
Yeah.
Oh, he knew he was possibly in trouble. He wanted to I think he would have a fresh start somewhere else. Maybe he felt like the onus would fall on Arizona. So, and maybe that's why the NCAA chose to punish the player in this scenario, because it looks like maybe he ran from that situation thinking Arizona would get the brunt of it. But, yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to tell, man. Look, we can all speculate all day. I mean, you and I have heard. I guess it's a rumor officially, but what likely happened here, and obviously we can't say it publicly, but if it happened that way, I don't think he was running from anything. I think it was just a mistake. He broke a rule, and he's being punished for it, unfortunately. But anyway, let's look at let's go to the on the court piece.
Yeah. Well, the other day, sorry.
I was just gonna say another huge, just gut shot to this team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, big gut shot, and I said the other day, what did I say? I can't decide whether it would be Jesse Edwards or Kerr Kriisa, the most important piece of this team, because while Jesse Edwards is probably the most important offensive piece and defensive piece, Kerr Kriisa makes the offensive go and flow. And whenever you saw Kobe or any other player try to bring the ball up the other day against George Mason, who is by no means world beaters, they're by no means are they a top of the Big 12 team or like a Houston or something like that. We struggled getting up the ball against the little press that they had. So it's gonna be odd to see what happens these first 9 games. Thankfully, we do have a couple winnable games on the schedule. The first 9 games starting Monday, but at the end of the day, I think we're not going to get a full look at what this team can do until 9 games in, and hopefully sooner.
Yeah, I'm looking here on as you were talking. I was trying to pull up the schedule here. The first 9 games. I was gonna read those off, but like you said, there's a lot of winnable games on there even without him. So I still think we can come out of that. I would have said we could come out of it, 9-0, but with him. But here, I mean, you've got Missouri State should be a W. Monmouth should be a W even without him. Jacksonville State theoretically should be a W. SMU should be a W, right? Theoretically, on paper. Now you got that Fort Myers tip-off tournament where we're playing either Virginia or Wisconsin. To me, both that's an L right there, in my opinion, regardless of which we're playing. And I'm not saying an automatic L. I'm predicting an L in that game. Beller means a W. St. John's, who knows? I mean, what are they going to look like with Rick Pitino?
Well, they're supposed to be really good. I mean, most people think they're going to be a top 15 team. So
that could be an L.
Which, by the way, I have Howie Schwab coming on for that.
I saw that. I'm really looking forward to that. It's going to be exciting.
So I have to keep in contact with him for that.
Yeah. Then we've got the backyard brawl against Pitt. He'll unfortunately miss that game. And Pitt, I think Jeff Capel's got them going in the right direction. I think. We'll see.
Yeah.
It's going to hurt our chances in that game. So we could theoretically go. I mean, on paper, we should be favored and still be favored in 6 of the 9 games, at least. But starting out 6-3 with those 9 games is not as good as starting out 9-0 or 8-1 when you have Big 12 play right behind it.
Right. And let's not forget we may get an answer to the Raekwon battle sometime soon. Hope.
Yeah.
What we can do is hope.
Yeah, and I'm making these statements assuming that Raekwon's appeal is going to get denied. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to put that out there. If his waiver gets approved, I think we got a good shot at still winning all those games. But man, but losing your point guard, man, is especially one like Kerr Kriisa, who is the floor general that he is going to be huge. And I don't think you can. I don't think you can really sugarcoat it. You can try to blow smoke and pump sunshine or however you want to call it, but it's a big hit and there's no way around it. I'm just glad it's going to be the first 9 games and not 9 games of conference play, because the Big 12 is going to be a friggin' gauntlet, man.
So agreed.
But when those games I read off, Paul, do you agree with me that on paper that's a 6-3? Without him and Raekwon?
Yeah.
Ballpark.
Yeah, definitely. Unless players step up and play better than we think. We got a bunch of role players, on behind Kerr. So
yeah. Well, maybe those guys will step up and play better than we expect them to. That could happen.
Very possible.
But anyway. Is there anything else? Oh, before we cannot go any further without saying this. Right before Paul and I came on and started recording, we got news. We saw the news about Bob Knight passing away. College basketball lost a legend, man. Bob Knight was one of the mentors for Mike Krzyzewski. He and Bob Huggins, I think, were pretty close. You could say he's up there as one of the top college basketball coaches of all time. Obviously, his legacy was a little tainted there towards the end of his career, but man, you can't take away what he did for the game. the number of young men he helped in life and in the game of basketball. So thoughts and prayers to Bob Knight's family as they deal with this loss. And college basketball's lost a legend, man. And so RIP to Bob Knight. Anything to add?
Years old.
Yeah. Anything you want to add to that?
No, you said it, man. You know, I made a post before we came on. I feel like he's on the Mount Rushmore coaches with Coach K, Dean Smith. You know, so
Wooden.
And Wooden. I thought I said that. But I have a lot of great memories watching him. I really do. I watched him my entire childhood. I really did. And, you know, I watched him. Most of my memories of him are at Texas Tech, you know, oddly enough, during those 2000, early 2010 years.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, he had him playing pretty good there. Former Big 12 legend, Bob Knight.
That's right. Yeah, West Virginia actually played them in the tournament one year while Bob Knight was coaching them.
And
we beat them.
We did.
But yeah, but I remember, you know, I remember watching. I think it was a documentary or something about Isaiah Thomas when I was a pretty young kid, and because Isaiah Thomas was one of my favorite players as a kid, and I remember watching a documentary on him, and Bob Knight was his coach in college, and I've heard Isaiah Thomas speak on Bob Knight and say nothing but great things about him, you know. So, yeah, thoughts and prayers out to the Knight family as they deal with the loss of Bob Knight. But as far as the Kerr Kriisa thing, anything else you want to add?
Looking forward to him to get back, and just keep your head up, Kerr, if you watch this.
Yeah, man, keep your head up, man. Mountaineer Nation's behind you. We love you. You know, we know you made. You know, we know you admitted making this mistake, but you know what? We still love you. We got you back, and we're looking forward to you getting back out on the court, man. With that being said, guys, don't forget to hit the like button here for this video if you don't mind. Subscribe to the channel, guys, if you haven't yet. We're going to continue to put out basketball content more and more as we get closer to the season and throughout the season. Also, please leave a comment below. Let us know what you think about the Kerr Kriisa situation at West Virginia. If you're an Arizona fan, feel free to leave your comments, whether it's positive, negative. You know, we'll respect your opinion. We want to hear you chime in, Arizona fans, if you're watching this. And don't forget to share this out, guys. Any West Virginia fan you know, any college basketball fan you know, please tell them about Hoops from the Hills, okay? Because we're trying to get this thing to grow. So with that being said, guys, we appreciate you tuning in. And until the next time, we're out.